That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Go that way. Really fast. Something gets in your way. Turn.
Yeah.
Let's rock this joint! Oh, yeah! You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Inconceivable! When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
I want you to remember this face here, okay? This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
I'm kind of a big deal.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
How about that?
Come on! Quit stalling!
Good evening, softball people, and welcome into Whip Around and Find Out. Weekend edition presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wander Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf. What a weekend. And first of all, this is Wisconsin's only daily softball show. No debate. It's us. Together we are Wisconsin's only daily softball show, and tonight we are live, and so you are part of this show. You're gonna participate tonight. Facebook right now, get in the comments. I want to know, based on this weekend, what were the best performances you saw? What were the biggest surprises? Maybe a Who's That Girl nomination, Circle of Dominance, all those things you've come to know and love from your friends at W7. I want you guys to put in the comments, what you think. What did you see this weekend? I can't be at 87 games. So, I count on you guys to help me, and we're going to read the best comments and post the best comments. So join us, let's make it interactive tonight. I really would like you guys to get involved and help me run this show tonight. All right. Well, let's get right into things. Segment 1, our weekend spotlight was at the Denmark Triangular. What a great time. Had an absolutely fantastic time yesterday in Denmark. Spent the whole day in Denmark yesterday. Actually, I stayed Friday night as well. So we had our game Friday in Appleton. We had Appleton North and Fond du Lac. Appleton North gets the win 9-4. Charlotte Radke was our Piggly Wiggly player of the game. Charlotte went 4 for 4 in the game and a big win for the Lightning over Fond du Lac. That FVA race is really getting fun. We're going to talk more about that tonight. But a big win for Fondy. Evelyn Frege did a nice job on the circle. Fondy did a nice job fighting back, but once they kind of got back into it, then North took off and scored some more runs and put it away. So 9-4, Appleton North gets the win over Fond du Lac Friday night. And then I actually stayed over Friday night at the Cobblestone Hotel in Denmark and got up early Saturday. Actually, I went to Mishicot Friday night and hung out with Coach Shimmick and a bunch of the Mishicot kids and families. I haven't seen the folks over there in a while, so I was over there Friday night, had dinner over there, and then booked it back to the hotel, got up Saturday and went to Memorial Park in Denmark. Our first game was at noon. It was Denmark versus Medford. The 2 o'clock game was Medford-Mishicot, and the 4 o'clock game was Mishicot and Denmark. 3 very interesting games, and I learned a lot this weekend. I'll tell you one thing I learned: Medford is the real deal, baby. They are legit. No question about it. Not that I doubted it, I just hadn't seen them play, and they're the real thing. So we did the game Saturday, and then I actually went over to the Circle Tap Saturday night, hung out with our buddy Darren, Derek, and also Josh and Blake, the co-owners of the Circle Tap. Had a great time, stayed there way too long, and got home, 1 o'clock or so last night. So it was a full day. We have to thank the Circle Tap in Denmark. We've got to thank Wander Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf for their support this season. It's been fantastic. This show is possible because of Darren and those guys. So make sure you thank them. Also, I got a bonus surprise out of the weekend. I'm at the Circle Tap Saturday night, right? And having a drink and a little bit of pizza. And the bartender, I looked at her. I'm like, gosh, I know her. How do I know this woman? I know her somehow. And, time kind of went around and I found out her name was McKenna. I'm like, McKenna. Who is McKenna? And then Josh, one of the co-owners, came in and said, Josh, who is the bartender? He said, that's McKenna Armstrong. I'm like, McKenna Armstrong? Oh my gosh, McKenna Armstrong, Random Lake. So I said, McKenna Armstrong, you come over here right now. And I told her how much I enjoyed watching her play high school and college basketball. It was great catching up with her and chatting. I still say to this day, I've never seen a block shot in basketball as good as the one McKenna Armstrong put on against Slinger back in 2018. So great to see McKenna. Of course, she also had a great career at UW Parkside, both in basketball and track. And now she is the track coach at Denmark High School. So great to see you, McKenna. Glad you're doing well. And we just really had a lot of fun. Denmark came in this weekend as the defending state champs in Division II, and they sure looked like it on Friday night. They took care of Ocano in a double header. I was hoping to get to the second game and kind of watch them play a little bit. Both games were over before we even got our game done at Appleton. So Denmark rolled both games. Maggie Frank had a great Friday night, great championship DNA for Denmark, and then Medford steps in and they flipped the entire weekend. Medford in the noon game. So Medford was number 3 in Division II and Denmark was number 10. And so the angle I went at for this game was, maybe Denmark feels a little disrespected. They're the number 10 seed. They're the defending state champs and they're number 10, which by the way, I still say is way too low. But, and Medford is the number 3. So that was kind of the angle I took. in the pregame and just in the script of the game. Medford didn't play along. They took care of business. This is where we got to slow it down. Riley Harabi from Medford, 2 games. So the noon game against Denmark, the defending D2 state champs, and the 2 o'clock game against Mishikat, the defending D4 state champs. Riley had 28 strikeouts in 10 innings, 19 in game 1 against Denmark. 19 strikeouts, 19 in game 1. She had 9 in game 2. And you're like, oh, she kind of probably slowed down in game 2. She only pitched 3 innings. So she pitched 10 innings and had 28 strikeouts. And not just that, she also achieved a career milestone. She came in at 587 career strikeouts. She got 28, so she eclipsed 600. She now sits at 615 career strikeouts. I mean, that's just a mind-boggling number. 2 wins, a career milestone, and of course, she also hit a home run in the game. I mean, that's not just dominance, that's control, right? I mean, you're not trying to beat her, you're just trying to survive her. And Riley showed me a lot on Saturday about how a pitcher can just take over a game, and she did that. And Denmark, and here's the funny part, so you think with all these strikeouts, like, okay, well, she must have tremendous velocity. I mean, she's good. It's probably mid-50s, maybe high 50s. But the movement on the ball is so, especially her rise ball, it's so good. It's almost mesmerizing because we were like right behind the plate, so I get to watch these pitches come in. It's I felt bad for the batters. That was a tough day for them. Medford defeats Denmark 5-0. Then they beat Mishikat 13-1. 16 hits, no panic, just response. Mishikat, this is not, I said this on the broadcast Saturday, this is not the 2025 Mishikat team, right? This is not the state champ. This is not the Kieran Sanford, Kaylin Adair state championship team. This is a young team. They're reloading. They're still dangerous. Eva Bonus is having an amazing senior year. I'm going to say it again. I said it on Saturday. I'm sure it upset some people, but I don't really care. How Eva Bonus is not an all-star selection for the all-star game in June. She's hitting 600. I mean, what do you want? And she was just a menace on the base paths. She was so good, and it was so fun to watch. But Medford and Denmark really just took care of business. Denmark defeated Mishikat 13-1 in their game. So let's take a pause here. Okay, I'm gonna see what we got. So my buddy Joe checking in. Emily Johnson, no-hitter, Cedarburg. I mean, old news, right, Joe? I mean, that's kind of like saying it's Sunday night. I mean, that's what Emily Johnson is constantly in that discussion. She's such a great player, both sides of the plate, both as a hitter and obviously as a pitcher. A no-hitter for Cedarburg this weekend. Let's see. Thank you, Joe. Melinda Weisensell checking in. Educating as many people as I can about what W7 is and what you do for the girls. We'll be in Deerfield on Wednesday for Marshall at Deerfield. It'll be just our second trip to Deerfield. We were there for a playoff game probably 2 years ago. So looking forward to seeing Kennedy Weisensell and all of our friends at Marshall, as well as some new friends at Deerfield. So that's on Wednesday. Okay, give me your thoughts on what were the best performances you saw this weekend? Who really impressed you? What really stood out for you? Even in the last few days, I'd love to hear it. All right, quick break. When we come back, so much more to get to. It's been a big weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're also going to do a deep dive tonight on Sun Prairie East, Kimberly, and Lamira. And this will be a new segment to our show. I'm gonna try and do a 3-team deep dive every show. So if you want us to do a deep dive on your team, pretty simple. Just contact us, info@productionsw7.com. I'm putting the schedule together for this week, and I figure we've got 25 days until playoffs start. I mean, we could legitimately do 60 teams or so. So be fun to just really get into some more depth on some of these teams and really talk about what's going on. We're going to do that tonight with Kimberly and with Sun Prairie East and Lamira. When we come back, you're watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wander Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. There she goes. Final score, Ashwaubenon 1, Neenah nothing. We'll be back for the noon game. Jaguars versus Fox Valley Lutheran. Until then, for our dancing queen, Addie Phipps, and Barrett Herr, and the victorious Jaguars, I'm Gary Whipperman. Thanks for watching. Last thing, biggest thing of the day, we are W7, and we are for the girls. See you soon. Welcome back to Whip Around and Find Out. Let's get those comments in. Got to hear from you guys. Got to hear what's going on, what your thoughts are on another crazy, wild weekend of softball. We've got a lot to talk about, and let's get into our next segment. Segment 3, this is what we call Upset Alert, and we had one. I mean, we had a pretty big upset that happened this weekend, Friday night. It's funny because you think kind of what's going on. You're like, okay, well, Team A beats Team B, and Team B, loses to Team C. Well, then Team A should beat Team C, right? I mean, pretty obvious. I mean, that's pretty straightforward logic. It just doesn't work that way. Doesn't, especially when you're talking about, high school girls sports. I mean, you don't know this, and that's what's so frustrating about it and so wonderful about it is you can truly go into any situation and not know what's going to happen. For example, there's been a lot of talk this year about Kaukauna. Hey, they're down. They're not winning the big games anymore. Their pitching isn't what it was. It's a big step back for Kaukauna. Hortonville's undefeated. It looks like a passing of the torch in the FVA, and Hortonville's going to run away with it. Not really. And here's why. Kaukauna beat Hortonville 5-0 on Friday. Undefeated Hortonville beat them 5-0. Gone. And this changes things because now the FVA race wide open. That opens the door for Appleton North. It opens the door for Neenah. It opens the door for several teams in that conference. And again, it goes to show, and this is probably not going to be the most popular opinion in the world, but I'm going to say this. The FVA is the SEC of football. I mean, I'm sorry if you disagree. You're fine to disagree. I'm okay with that. But it's the best conference in the state. I don't know what the argument would be. So it was a great win for Kaukauna. I'm really happy for Kaukauna to get that win. I think they need to get their mojo back. You know what? Here's the thing, you guys, and you can disagree all you want. Wisconsin softball is better when Kaukauna is really good. I mean, argue it if you want, but I know some people are enjoying kind of what's going on this year. It's kind of like the Raiders. The NFL is good when the Raiders are good, and when the NBA is better when the Lakers and the Celtics are good. This is Kaukauna is the Celtics and the Lakers of high school softball. We need Kaukauna to be Kaukauna, and they will be. They've got their youth program is tremendous. They're going to be fine. I'm surprised. I did not expect that. I did not expect them to knock off Hortonville. Congratulations. That was Hortonville's first loss of the year. So Kaukauna, dangerous. Hortonville, human. Okay, time for some deep dives. But before that, let me look at some comments here. My buddy Keith Kozlowski, love the show. Watch out for Hortonville next couple of years. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, no doubt about it. They have an undefeated JV team. That's just the rich getting richer at Hortonville. And I've always been a Hortonville athletics fan. I mean, especially on the girls' side, mostly because I don't know anything about the boys' side, but on the girls' side, I love their basketball program. I love Coach AC; he's fantastic, and I love the softball program. It's really done the right way. And I was there for youth night a couple of weeks ago. There were tons of people there, and the weather sucked, and there were still tons of people there. So that tells me they've got a really healthy softball program in Hortonville, which again, absolutely no surprise. Thank you, Keith. Keith, if you don't know, was the former head softball coach at Oshkosh North, and Oshkosh North. That's another one. We talk about Kaukauna being good. Oshkosh North needs to be playing softball. If you go to North, I want to see you sign up for softball next year. We need to have a team at Oshkosh North. They won state in 2019 under Sydney Supley, who's just killing it on the Big Ten Network. If you watch Big Ten Network softball and you see a tall redhead, that's Sydney Supley. She is fantastic. Her analysis is so good. She also did the state tournament games last year for the WIA, actually the last couple of years. And I'm really a big Sydney fan and enjoy watching her commentary and analysis of what's going on in Big Ten softball, which, by the way, Nebraska clinched the Big Ten softball title, their first ever outright title this weekend. Jordy Fromm making a big difference there, of course. All right. Okay, so that's that one. Jesse, what are we talking about tonight? Exciting news about the Stoughton Vikings. They are off to an incredible start, Jesse. There's no doubt about that. This Stoughton team has won 9 games in a row, and they're 11-1. And here's the fun part. That's Jesse Buell checking in. This is the fun part about it. All their games are like comeback walk-offs, last minute, heroics. I mean, just, Coach Bondi has got to be just like, oh my gosh, how much more can these kids deliver? They said at the beginning of the year that their team slogan was now or never. They are making it now. 11-1 Stoughton Vikings, and in a great position to not just compete, but maybe even run away with the Badger Small. Keep an eye on Stoughton. Jesse, thanks for checking in. They have a big game with Mount Horeb coming up May 12th. So great insight, and I appreciate the news. That's the kind of news we're looking for, you guys. If we need to talk about your team, you gotta advocate for your team, right? I mean, you do. You have to advocate. I've got a set script and agenda that I'm going to do. It may or may not include your team, but if you want to make sure your team's included, you better pipe in. I'm happy to talk about it. Okay, here we go. This is let me see, where am I at here? Sorry. Oh, this is our new segment here. This is the Who Are You segment. I kind of teased it a little bit in the opening, but this is our deep dive. We're going to call it the Who Are You deep dive. And tonight we're going to talk about 3 teams. We're going to talk about Sun Prairie East. We're going to talk about Kimberly, and we're going to talk about Lamira. Those are our teams to talk about tonight on the deep dive. Okay, let me see. Had too many windows open here. All right. Let's start with Kimberly. Kimberly might be the most confusing team in the state. I gotta say it. They might be. On paper, they're good, damn good. Strong record. They score runs. They get big wins. They've beaten legit teams, but then losses where they don't look like themselves. So what are they? I don't know. Right now, they're two teams. One that can beat anybody and one that can disappear. And now look at what's coming. They've got to play. Here are their next 4 games: Fond du Lac, Hortonville, Stevens Point, Appleton. And you don't think the FVA is the toughest conference in the state? Sorry, Appleton North. Fond du Lac, Hortonville, Stevens Point, Appleton North. That's their next 4 games. That's insane. That's not a schedule. That's an identity test for Kimberly. Are they a contender? We saw them a couple weeks ago against Hortonville, and Hortonville 10 run them, which I was absolutely stunned. I really was stunned by that. I did not expect that. You've got a great pitcher in Bella Elstad. They really hit her hard. Bella actually had a home run in that game too. But I mean, she's a very, very good pitcher. It just wasn't Kimberly's day. And I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with them. Hey, you know what? They just had an off day, and they'll turn around, they'll figure it out. But they struggled against Hortonville. And then, so you think, okay, well, maybe this is not, the team that we think it is. But then they come up and get big wins in their conference, and they're right in the mix in the FVA this season. So, I'm not sure exactly where they are, but when you've got a Sophie Hermes playing shortstop, I mean, she's one of the best shortstops in the state. Of course, she's heading to Madison this next year. She's a senior this year. I've been watching Sophie since she was in 8th grade. So, looking at the rest of their schedule, I'm just pulling this up here. Let's see. Come on. My computer is so slow tonight, you guys. You know what? I'll be honest. I'm kind of slow too. I imbibed pretty good last night. Okay. So wins over Appleton East. Beat Nina 8-3. Beat Denmark 7-1. Beat Appleton West. Beat Oshkosh West. Lost to Hortonville. We said that one 13-3. So they lose to Hortonville. Then they come back and they beat Watertown 15-5. They beat Spash 7-5. They beat Kakana. They beat Kakana 11-4. So you're like, okay, now I know who this team is. And then Saturday they lose 8-0 to Oak Creek. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who they are yet. I'm expecting we're going to figure that out in the coming days. Like I said, Fond du Lac, Hortonville, Spash, Appleton East, and oh, by the way, our game with them is the 11th at Fox Valley Lutheran. So that's going to be it's real put up time for Kimberly this next 8 days. Fond du Lac, Hortonville, Stevens Point, Appleton East, Fox Valley Lutheran. We may not know who they are now. We'll know by next Tuesday, and then they play Fond du Lac and Appleton North after that. So I mean, it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet schedule for them. Okay, what about Sun Prairie East? Consistency watch now, because this one needs some context also. They are dominant in conference. I mean, they're just blowing out the Big Eight. They're winning games, pitching. Allison Giese having a fantastic year. Strikeouts, ERA, command. She's not the issue. So what is it? Offense. Well, they're balanced, yes, but they don't have that single takeover bat. So when they're rolling, they beat you everywhere. But when they stall, well, they can be a little vulnerable. And we saw that this weekend. And again, Sun Prairie East is one of those teams also that you say every year, all they do is go to state every single year. That's what they do. That's kind of their, MO is, every year if somebody tries to shovel dirt on them saying, well, they're probably going to be down this year. And, this is probably somebody else's year. And then you look up at the brackets for the state tournament and what do you see? Sun Prairie East. Every year they are always there, including a state championship in 2021, if I remember right. I'm getting old, you guys. The years are starting to blend together. Okay, so looking at Sun Prairie East, I'm just checking their schedule here also since we talked about the Kimberly one. So they're 10-2 overall. They're 10-0 in the conference. And again, they've breezed through the Big Eight, right? Which I think you'd expect that. They did lose to Hamilton 4-1. That was on April 20th. And if that's your measuring stick, well, I mean, then nobody's any good because everybody loses to Hamilton. They beat La Follette. They beat Sun Prairie West. They did beat Verona 2-0. Beat Middleton. Middleton's a good team too. Beat Middleton 4-0. So again, you think, okay, well, this team is, maybe getting some things figured out. And they struggled this weekend in the tournament they were in. Lost one game 14-1, which I just can't even believe that. I got to think maybe it was prom or something, or maybe the half of the team was on vacation. I don't know, but consistency is going to be the question for the Sun Prairie East team. And are they going to get help in the last half of the year? Of course, Allison Giese, again, great pitcher. She's having a great season, but they're going to need more bats. Okay, Lamira. Lamira, they have just a relentless lineup, nearly 10 runs a game. Lily Christian's having a phenomenal year. Trista Gassner, Izzy Westfall, Kennedy Gable, Tori Thomas. all of them are producing. You know, we talk about production and a lineup that has production. That Lamira lineup has a ton of production in it. Lily Christian, last I checked, had 7 or 8 home runs. It's a team you can't pitch around one hitter because they've got another one right behind it. So you can't say, okay, well, we're going to stay away from Gassner. Okay, well, but what about Lily Christian? Okay, we're going to stay away from Lily Christian. But what about Izzy Westfall? What are you going to do then? I mean, what about Tori Thomas? What about Kennedy Gable? What are you doing against these guys? And Lamira is another team. They're in that crazy flyway conference. And I want to just pull this up here because the flyway is is a lot of fun this year. Let me grab this. I know we're kind of going on the fly here a little bit, but you know what? That's all right. You guys will forgive me, right? By the way, I'm using Max Preps for information, and I know some people don't like it, and it's got its weaknesses, no doubt about it. But overall, with sports, with sports going away, I mean, we needed to have something, and I don't know the situation with Bound and all that stuff, but there's a place to put your stats in here and your schedules and rosters and standings and everything else. So I'm not going to be too hard on those guys, on the Max Preps guys. I'd love to see them have a resident softball expert. Wipp Sports had Norbert Durst for girls basketball. I'd love to see them get one for softball, just that can write articles and share information at the state level. There's a good amount of that in the Fox Valley and also in the kind of in the Fondy area. They do a lot of great reporting, but statewide, you just don't really see it. Okay, all right. So in the flyway, Campbellsport. Who had this on their bingo card? Campbellsport is leading the conference. They are 7-1 in the flyway. Nobody saw that coming. Lamira is 5-1. WLA is 5-3. Laconia is 3-2. St. Mary Springs 3-3. North Fondy 3-4, and then Omro and Mayville. But Lamira, obviously from a game standpoint, games lost standpoint, they're in the loss column. They're tied with Campbellsport, and Campbellsport gave Lamira their only loss of the conference this year. So very, very interesting. We're going to be at Lamira tomorrow on Monday as they host North Fond du Lac, and North Fondy's 3-4 in the conference. But at this point, especially in that conference, I don't think you can overlook anybody. It is going to be a wild and crazy finish. In the circle, I didn't mention her, but let me mention her as well. Haley Caspery in the circle, strikeouts, control, enough. She does enough to let that offense go to work. If they score early, good luck. So there's your deep dives. When we come back, a quick run through the home run club. And let me check our comments here. Keith, no, I agree. I mean, Sophie Hermes is Sophie's the real deal. I mean, she is. Like I said, I saw her in 8th grade at the Showtime Sports Showcase. She was the only 8th grader there. The rest were all high school kids. And I mean, and you're not talking about kids from just around here. I'm talking kids from, if you know Showtime Sports, I mean, it's elite. I'm talking about kids from Minnesota, Illinois, Kansas, Nebraska, all over the Midwest. And Sophie got an invite as an 8th grader, and she just wowed everybody. That's when we knew. And it was funny because what Showtime does for their showcase, and by the way, we'll be broadcasting the Showtime Sports Showcase in August again, like we always do every year, thanks to John Kelleher and Bill Graham. But what they do is you get a colored sock for what year you are. So like when coaches come through, then they know, okay, well, this kid's a junior. So if you have red socks, you're a junior. Or if you have, green socks, you're this, or, yellow socks, you're this. For Sophie, they gave her these lime neon green socks. You couldn't miss her anywhere, not only from the socks, but also from her play. So no, Keith, I agree. She's fantastic. Tony Armato checking in. Hi, Peanut. you know what? I want to see you too, Jaden. Let's make sure that we meet up at Goodman Diamond in June, right? I mean, you just go take care of business, and we'll meet up in June at Goodman Diamond. So looking forward to seeing you. Keep working hard, kiddo. I'm watching you guys, watching what you're doing. You guys are winning a lot of close, tight games, which to me, I love that for two reasons. One is it shows you've got a balanced, tough schedule, number one, and number two, you're figuring out how to win these close games. And as we reach the postseason, I mean, you guys have a long history of close postseason games, especially with Fall Creek. But as we reach the postseason, that's going to do you tremendous good. So let's make sure and meet up at Goodman Diamond in Madison, Peanut, and hope to see you soon. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. The Home Run Club coming up next. You're watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf.
Thousands of athletes are competing for the same spots. The ones who get noticed, they give coaches something to watch. Recruited Films produces cinematic athlete recruitment videos, shot professionally, built around your athlete's strengths, and designed to do one thing: get them noticed. Your athlete's story is ready to be told.
If you don't know W7...
For real.
I didn't write the first time, so mess it up. If you don't know W7, you don't know Kakana softball. I'm Paige Miller. I'm Callie Meredith, and W7 is for the girls.
See, I'm telling you, softball's better when Kakana's good. That's just, I'm not going to call them Darth Vader, but I mean, there's no Luke Skywalker without Darth Vader. I mean, that story means nothing if you don't have, and they're not an enemy. They're just, they're good. And a lot of it is just, envy. And, I want them to be good. I think they should be good, and they will be good. Okay. Home Run Club. If you left the yard, you're in. I'm sure I'm not going to get everybody. So if one of your players hit one out this weekend, put it in the comments. First of all, Addie Johnson from Germantown, she got one. Riley Harabi from Medford. We talked about Riley, got her not only her 600th career strikeout, but also hit a home run as well. Emerson Patushek from Arrowhead got one. And those are the ones I have. I know there's more. Put them in the comments. If one of your players went yard, and we'll do a shout out. All right, time for your favorite segment. Well, not really your favorite, but you guys know we've got to do it. I mean, it's got to happen. It's time to check in at the Hard Luck Hotel, and well, there was one team that checked in for sure. They got the weekend pass this weekend at the Hard Luck Hotel. It was the shower didn't work, vending machine ate your dollar, you're scared to go in the parking lot at night. I mean, that's the Hard Luck Hotel. You don't want to be there. It's you're still swinging, but it's kind of the last stop. And the team that really took up the Hard Luck Hotel this weekend has to be Milton. Milton lost 3 games on Saturday by a total of 3 runs. That's brutal. Right there. Every game, it just didn't bounce their way. And you guys know, Milton has got some great hitters. We've seen 3 of their games. They're a very, very good team. Saturday, things just did not go their way for the Red Hawks. Hoping they can bounce back and check out this coming week. Oh no. Oh no. They can't be back. Bayport is making a return trip to the Hard Luck Hotel. They out-hit DeForest and still lost. Tell me, put in the comments, what's the tough loss you saw this weekend? Who else should be in the Hard Luck Hotel? Remember, the Hard Luck Hotel's not for bad teams. It's not what it is. It's for teams with bad luck. teams that, hey, if the ball bounces fair, you win. If it goes foul, you lose. We see plenty of that, right? So put in the comments who you think should be at the Hard Luck Hotel. When we come back, it's everybody's favorite. Who's that girl? You're watching Whip Around and Find Out Weekend Edition. We are live here on Sunday night. We'll be right back. You're watching W7, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wander Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf.
Injuries can happen at any time, and when they do, head to Ortho ASAP, a faster, less expensive option than urgent care. No appointments are needed, so you can be seen immediately by our specialists. Part of Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Fix TV. Live contents like never before. Switch between multiple live channels with ease. Access anytime, anywhere with our user-friendly app. Fix TV brings the action right at your fingertips. Download now. Available on all devices.
Kara Link hit her 6th home run versus Fort Atkinson on Thursday. Again, we talked about Stoughton, 11-1. Talk about now or never. It's now for that team. They're killing it. Keep up the good work, Vikings. Okay, now it's time for All right, here we go. The segment everybody waits for. Who's that girl? This is not just stats. This is who owned the moment. Here are your nominees for this weekend. We're only going to have one Who's That Girl. Your nominees are Charlotte Radke from Appleton North. A perfect day at the plate. Controlled the offense. She had 4 hits in their game against Fond du Lac. Riley Harabi from Medford, you're not trying to beat her, you're trying to survive her. 28 strikeouts in 10 innings. She eclipsed 600 career strikeouts this weekend. And on top of all that, in one of the games, she hit a home run. Maggie Frank, Denmark, everything starts with her. Great pitcher, great player, great offense. She's going to be a factor, especially in this postseason as we get closer and closer. That playoff experience from Denmark, it's going to come in handy. Emily Johnson, Joe, you nailed it. No hitter. That's dominance. That's Emily Johnson just having a tremendous year. Addie Johnson from Germantown. She changed the game with one swing for Germantown in their win. So this week, or today's winner of Who's That Girl is Riley Harabi from Medford. You blew me away, Riley. I'm telling you. 19 strikeouts in game 1, 9 strikeouts in game 2. Okay, getting near the end here. A couple more things. Let's go inside the circle of dominance. Riley Harabi, we talked about 19 strikeouts in game 1, 9 more in game 2, and a home run. Emily Johnson, a no-hitter. Ava Sabish from Campbellsport, locked in. Campbellsport, again, having a magical season right now. All right. And then looking ahead to Monday, I mentioned we are at Lamira on Monday. Lamira 7-2 takes on North Farm. My microphone's doing weird things. And testing 1, 2, 3. Boy, I tell you, this tech. An explosive lineup for All right. Well, I don't know. Okay. North Fond du Lac. They have, Jaeger's hitting 500 for North Fond. They can hit. The early innings could decide this one. I know. I know we're all going to think, hey, they're 5-1 in the conference and North Fondy's 3-4. It should be an easy win. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Lamira is starting to kind of get things figured out. I think they're going to start making this postseason run here pretty soon. I would watch out for them. Other games to watch tomorrow. Kimberly takes on Fond du Lac, Kaukauna against Beaver Dam, and Appleton North against FVL. Those are all going to be fantastic games. A lot to watch this week. And we'll do a deep dive on 3 more teams tomorrow. That's going to do it for tonight. Medford, you made a statement. Kaukauna responded, and Denmark responded. Kaukauna shook things up. Kimberly, Sun Prairie East, we're watching your consistency. Lamira, pressure and offense. Monday, we learn a lot more. There you go. There's your show for tonight. Wisconsin's only daily softball show. We'll be back on Tuesday morning at 7:30. And we'll crown a new Who's That Girl. We'll hit the circle of dominance. We'll do a 3-team deep dive, all that fun stuff. But it's important that you whip around and find out. I'm Gary Whipperman. Thanks for watching. Have a great week this week coming up, and we'll see you soon. We are W7, and we are for the girls.